Tux, let's go. Marty. Here you go, Tux. Here you go, buddy. Good morning, Mart. Good morning. That perm motor's really going today. JB's asleep on the air mattress in the garage. I'll show you his setup this afternoon. That's why Ruby's already out. Hey, buddy. Good morning. Good morning. Alright, all is right in the world. You guys are back to your chicken this morning. Yeah, you lost a piece there, Gray. Ruby's just a little cold looking there on top, but I started the climate. So she's not cold on the inside. Good morning, Ruby. Wow, it seems so much darker out this morning. But don't worry, the time's gonna change here real soon. Gas is currently holding here at 349. I don't understand. Unleaded 87, 349. Unleaded 88, 319. One's got ethanol. Good morning, Raleigh. It's been a sleepy ride in this morning. Wow, Johnny got out at 7:24 this morning. We're on time today. A little earlier than we have been. This is what time you probably ought to get out every day. It probably won't last the week. Model S following me around the loop this morning. Yeah, so there's the Model S behind me, but it gets more interesting as I'm exiting campus today. See if I can find it without too much. Oh, that's me coming into the park. I went a little too far. Yeah, we had to go past the school bus. The S stopped to let somebody off. Get out, kind of like I do, Johnny. Here, let me get a little closer. But as I'm exiting, it's just really hard to I'll just let it play because I can't seem to move it to where I want it to go. And here I am leaving campus. All's good. Everybody's behaving. You know, I'm never gonna like this narrow passageway, but I deal with it. Especially don't like this bush here on the right that's right up against the cement. But here comes a white Model Y. And right behind the white Model Y is a red Model 3. Amazing. We get any more Teslas downtown in a short segment of time like that, we'll be thinking we're in California or something. So Don did take this whole week off as vacation to spend with JB, but he was up with me this morning, even though he didn't have to pull Ruby out, doing his normal thing. He was reading the paper and having a cup of coffee. But I guess this morning, if he feels like nodding back off, he can, right? So, but yeah, the guys are gonna do projects, but they never do stuff early in the morning. And not any big projects, but a bunch of little projects. I told them I have this new shelf I want hung, and it's that big box and it's kind of in the way, and today would be good. Let's hang that today. Besides, I think if I really like it, I want to order a second one, but I didn't want to do that till I was sure I really like it. So, well, you'll see. I'll take a picture. And JB's got Johnny's Viper BattleBot test box. He assembled it down in Florida, but then took it back apart so that it would transport easier. And the guys didn't unload that last night, but they'll get that unloaded. And let's see what else. This is still playing in the background down there. It was kind of distracting me. I don't know. That's so far so good. I think Don and I will go for our normal walk when I get home. It's 55 out there, supposed to be in the 70s today. And that's pretty much the weather all week. 50s at night, 70s during the day, dry. So it should be nice weather, nice enough weather for JB's visit. He'd like it 10 to 20 degrees warmer. He likes it warm, you know, Hawaii boy and all, but yeah, at least it won't be frigid for his. He would not come in February. He would steer clear of being here in February. It's just too cold. Gets a little cold down there where he is in Florida too, though. So yeah, I'm fixing to spin the Pokestops and head on to the house. We're back at it. Yeah. I was gonna say we had almost more than we could carry, but I guess I'm the one that had the plastic bottles, and those are bulky. Yeah, I hadn't walked between the environmental park and the trail while Don was gone, and they had that Halloween event up there, I guess the weekend right before he left, that Saturday night. So when you left on a Sunday, there was a little bit of extra stuff. We got one side of the road clean. The other side of the road, we probably got to come back with the bag. Or Don, he fell asleep like a guy should on his vacation while he was reading his newspaper, and I came and was like, let's go. Yeah, all fired up.
Worse than that, when I get home, she's going to want me to start doing stuff.
Well, our trail, Donnie, it's got some acorns and some leaves, and it's very crunchy today.
I'm back.
And I'm determined I'm going to get some more information out of this Florida visit out of him.
Apparently, I didn't do quite well enough getting video content. So I was telling Marianne on the walk up that, you know, what some of the stuff, the details about TeslaCon. And one of the things that happened during TeslaCon, left turn Chuck, the guy was there, and his buddy. And almost when they first took the stage, almost the first thing the buddy said is that when he was sitting in the left seat videoing Chuck in the car, he basically had a, well, I'm
embellishing us.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, he made it very clear it scared him to death. I told Marianne the guy thought he was having a coronary, but you know, it was that scary. And so they had a very good presentation. You know, they flown out to AI Day, and they got access to some of the developers, and they got selfies and stuff like that. But what Marianne wanted me to talk about is at the end they had questions and answers. And so I was able to ask Chuck what because he had said that he felt like the cameras that we've got, the locations, he's doubtful. He's very skeptical that they're going to make it.
And you've said that. And
I've said that. And so I asked the question. I said, so I asked my question. So do you really think the regulators, even if Elon has this march of nines, where he has nines out to infinity, and he can show that this thing is safer or would save lives, do you really think a driver sitting in the left seat of the car, and the car driving, that the regulators are going to approve this thing? They're just going to override it. And he did a good job answering the question without answering it. I mean, I wouldn't say he wasn't trying to answer it, but he said there are two facets of it. There is the technical side, and there is that subjective side of the butt in the seat feel. And he had a good explanation. So fundamentally, I was somewhat encouraged that it's possible that regulators would approve it. And they also did talk about it might be approved, in certain places first, certain conditions and not all conditions. So later on there was a show of hands, and about I would say the majority thought that 2025, between now and 2025, that the first city somewhere in the country would get the Tesla car. What do you call that? His Tesla, not Tesla bot.
Robo-taxi?
Robo-taxi. God, I couldn't get it out. That somewhere in this country would actually approve robo-taxi. So, I mean, full-fledged robo-taxi,
Well, there are a couple of programmed around universities, well-known. It's programmed. I mean, it's totally different, but there are a couple places with some autonomous vehicles moving about.
But I think the people who were there, they were thinking that they would be able to pretty much have true autonomy, go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
So that was encouraging. There was no one that didn't think it wasn't gonna. When they got to the point, do you think it'll ever be? I don't remember seeing a single hand went up. So everybody felt like it was gonna happen.
Just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time, and I don't think it was like a way out time either. I mean, I think, like I said, the majority was by 2025, and then there was 2028 and stuff like that. So that was I mean, I still, as I said, the camera location, they did talk about maybe we'll get the refit to some of the more advanced features, like the actual robo-taxi itself would be full self-driving 4.0. That maybe the 3.0 cars will be okay for us to, but not for you know, the ability to take just anybody. Send it off by itself. In other words, if you want to put your loved ones at risk, that's your business, you know, from an insurance point of view. But, you know, for a common carrier type situation, then, you know, insurance-wise. And in fact, they said, in fact, that was part of the answer. Now it's starting to come back to me. I apologize.
Don's trying to recover from the trip.
Right.
He needs more caffeine.
He felt the part of the answer to will the regulators ever approve it, Chuck said, it isn't really going to be the regulators, it's going to be the insurance companies are going to demand it because of the amount of you know, the costs involved in all these accidents and things like that, and that they could save money.
Oh, so I hadn't thought about that, Tate.
Right, that was what I meant. I couldn't remember it. I apologize, I couldn't, but that was his key point. So there's basically two parts, and oh, by the way, that part of the regulators, it's going to be the insurance companies, because, you know, they're just going to go, the insurance company's got lots of money, just go buy the regulators. You know, Elon won't be able to buy them, but you know, the insurance companies, they already know how to buy regulators and utility insurance boards. They already got all those people all lined up on the boards that they need. So as soon as the insurance companies are happy, the regulators will approve it, because the insurance company will tell the regulators to approve it. So, you know, that's just me being sarcastic, but fundamentally that type of thinking was implied in his answer, that the insurance companies and their clout will get this thing approved.
So I'm having to be creative about how I interview him, because there's always a lot of noise, but this is my window today to interview him, so it is what it is.
Yeah, so we were eating lunch, and then, so, you know, around the lunch table, other Tesla owners from across the country were there. And I got to talk to somebody from, I think he was from Las Vegas, and he had Tesla insurance. And he said when you have the full self-driving beta, the driver score goes away, but when you sign up for insurance, even with full self-driving, the driver score comes back to the car. He said the quote that they give you, I think he said it's based on a driver score of 88. So whenever you get a quote from Tesla on the insurance, and if I'm recollecting it, it's based on like a driver score of 88, and then if you're better, your rate's going to go down, and if you're not better, it's going to go up. That's the sweet spot. I think he said 80. It may have been 92. I'm getting it confused, but the point is, you know, you will save a little money that way. In fact, his went from $280 a month to $190. I think he's got 2 cars. So it was a reasonable saving. He's not had filed a claim yet, so he doesn't know anything about that.
Can't speak to that process.
Only can talk about they are saving money. And it's a 30-day, so if you go out and you have a bad day, you can go save it by, you know, averaging it out with the other days. So that's good. I guess I certainly hope we would try it, but, you know, I do everything wrong that the Tesla evaluates. You know, I follow too close, stop too quick, hang corners too fast, but somehow I don't have accidents. But you know, in fact, I'm the guy. I'm the over 55-year-old driver that generally gets the great breaks on the insurance. So, you know, the 25-year-old male who's paying through the nose, and because age and sex and all that goes out the window, it's just what's your driver score. The thing based on your driver score. You
yourself and I. Yeah.
That's right. If your driver score is good, your rates are low. If your driver score is bad, you pay through the nose. So I'm one of those people that the demographics, you know, I've lived through the 25-year-old insurance and all those times. I've paid through the nose. So now when I get up to the insurance companies actually treat me well because of my demographic, now they're going to throw away the demographic and say, well, we're going to treat you by your old man driver score. And I, of course, drive too fast, corner too quick, stop too fast. But I don't have accidents. But so I'm going to get, I think I'm going to end up getting screwed. But that's, you know, we'll see.
I was noticing that they've overseeded the field either with rye, which is an annual, or more fescue. It's looking pretty. So next few weeks it'll really be pretty. Cold weather grasses. They do grow centipede here a lot for summer grass, and also a little Bermuda, but mostly centipede. And a lot of people will put rye over top of the centipede in the fall to make it look pretty, because the centipede just goes brown as soon as it gets cold. The turf management here, NC State's got a program for that. So the poor guy mowing the lawn, he's having to pull up the political signs and then put them back down. I feel for him. I do, I feel for him. It was a bad day to interview. Every time I think they've stopped making noise, they start back up again. Yeah. So Sandy, what we all want to know, we want to know about what it was like to be around with, listen to Sandy.
Yeah, so Nick, the organizer of TeslaCon, the head of the president of the Tesla owners group
for Florida. Yeah, the Zeb equivalent for Florida.
Yeah. He asked Ryan McCafferty of Ride the Lightning podcast to interview Sandy, and Ryan, of course, he did, and he did a good job. Ryan did. Nick was also part of that, and included in that, and had quite a bit to say. But the key thing that I remember, profound statements, because it was not a prepared, it was ad hoc, ad lib, and that's the way you want Sandy. You know, you want to get him where he can talk, cut loose. He said a couple things. One of the things he said was when he goes to China to talk electric vehicles and batteries and things to in China, he said they fill auditoriums and they got triple decks, and they're slam full of engineers. And he said that's how hungry China is for electric vehicles. In other words, in America, he can't get people, and still to this very day, American companies, if I understood what he was saying, the American companies aren't knocking Sandy's door down to understand what they need to do with electric vehicles. Now, you could take that as they already know what they need to do, or they're not interested. I don't know which one of those two. You know, I don't think Sandy could actually say. But I guess if you read the tea leaves, the companies think they know how to do this. But Sandy's other profound statement, which is probably a little bit more profound, was everybody is trying to come up with the Tesla killer, but they're missing the mark. When you have a compelling electric vehicle, maybe somebody likes it better than a Tesla, but it doesn't have to be as good as the Tesla. But if you make a electric vehicle, it's going to get sold. It won't displace a Tesla sale because it's not as good as a Tesla, but it's going to displace one of your competitors' ICE car sales, or maybe one of your ICE car sales. So the simple matter of it is, you're going to come out with a car to try to kill Tesla, and really what you're going to do is you're going to kill either your own sale entrench yourself even further into the EV or your competitors, it probably won't bother Tesla in the least. So that was the other statement that he made. And there's a couple more things, but he felt like Ford is the company that's going to make it. He said Jim Farley personally delivered that Lightning to him, and there were a lot of things about the Lightning he didn't like, but he said, you know, Ford's got it. That Farley's, you know, he's drank the Kool-Aid. And then, of course, he was very pro-Deese. And then basically after Deese left, he knew that Volkswagen was done. And he flat out said that, you know, from build or from the platform point of view, that the ID4, he didn't like it. You can go watch the video. I won't, but he basically felt that from something to build on, the ID4 wasn't it. So that's what, you know, doesn't mean it won't sell. It just doesn't mean that it's not a good car. It's just from a cost point of view. Sandy is looking at everything from a cost point of view.
Sustainability of manufacturing these cars.
That stuff. So
yeah,
he
got to be profitable.
Yeah, ID4 wasn't it. And of course he has big things, thinking that Tesla is this constantly innovative and you know, vertical integration. He said, he actually asked that question now, you know, there's a new startup company that got a hold of him, and the first words out of their mouths to Sandy was, "We're vertically integrated." So Harvard, you know, outsource everything, get a supplier to do all the work. You know, Sandy said that is in this, with Tesla in the game, and you're going to try to compete with Tesla using that lowest cost supplier mentality, you're not going to do it, because Tesla just innovates too fast. You can leave you in the dust.
Yeah, I think you shared with me that you thought he thought VW was likely to sell Audi any day now, and you talked about how he felt about these car makers staying alive and selling off stuff, and talk a little bit about that.
He still, that's right. So what Sandy said was, you could tell when car companies are running short on cash, they sell off their assets. And in case of, he plainly said that Porsche was sold to give Volkswagen some money to move forward, and he pretty much felt like Volkswagen is going to be a much reduced car company in the future. That you know, with Deese being let go, that the only person in the entire company apparently got it, they don't have anymore. So they're going back to their, you know, thinking the ICE car. He said that Audi's going to get sold off next. He said that's just, you know, that's almost inevitable. And he said, when you start seeing the car companies sell off assets, you know they're short on cash, and that's a sign that they're not long for this world.
Well, Ruby's got some company this morning, and it's Performance Y, and that's not Jules. It could be Jules, but it's not. There's Ruby.
Yeah, why not wine even?
Yeah. I'm on my way downtown to pick up Johnny. JB is up and has assumed the position on the couch, reading the paper and doing his computer time, and Don's all settled in with another cup of coffee, and I think they're gonna run up to what JB refers to as Wally World here in a bit and buy a few provisions, some groceries, but for now they're just having morning coffee, tea. JB doesn't do coffee, he does tea time. It's a beautiful day. Ruby says it's 66. I think the high is supposed to be 76. It's only 11:30, so of course there's plenty of time to still warm up. I'm liking that. That's what I like. I like a man that looks like he's headed to do some work.
She gets me these work clothes. Why? She expects me to work.
I'm really not going to work him too hard today. Hanging my crown molding shelf is not going to be up there. Is not going to be that much. But JB and Johnny are going to put together the test box, and Don's got to get the wood out of the Tesla.
I gotta go get everything ready
for them. Yeah, so they can be success. You're to set them up for success.
Make them set them up for success.
That's right. So this is JB's deluxe accommodations, complete with the latest in end tables, aka the cooler.
Hey, we've got a
TV.
50-inch HD TV with streaming capabilities and all that.
Chromecast, all that stuff. Yep.
I should be so lucky.
Oh, please. Well, one of the things on my list today is to fertilize my azaleas and camellias and rhododendrons and anything else that's evergreen in the yard that will like this acid-loving fertilizer. Wow, I'm going to blink and they're going to have this box put back together.
So you just want it nice and flat down there. And we're going to clamp this.
Oh, look at this nice little groove here.
And what we're actually going to do is we're going to put the plexiglass in there.
Versus how, see, JB took the design somebody else made and he made it better. I would have expected nothing less. Doesn't have to be as good as a cabinet, but it'll be as good as a cabinet. Fun. Polycarbonate.
Yep. It should be.
And just slide it in first.
Trial fit.
Yeah. Get it? And you know, you don't have to pull this all the way out when you're doing it, right? You can just pull it like that.
Yeah.
Grab
Yeah, and grab. Grab and go.
What you have to do is make sure that
It goes
that
in
goes
like
in
that.
there. And so you might want to get a little suction cup thing.
I was hoping that
Or
on the
you could
schematic
put-
it said we could hawk through a handle.
Yeah, you can just hot glue a handle on this. That way when you're putting it in, you'll just lift that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this thing here now, there's no way it'll blow
Right.
this apart. And the other one's going to have a catch on it too. So, this will be held down
Right.
off.
This is exactly what's needed, so it'll be no danger.
Yeah, okay. So we can screw this together now.
Do you want me to use the polycarbonate?
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I asked a friend of mine, what do you do with runs and sags when he sprayed? He says, I don't do runs and sags, so I don't worry about it.
I'll let you do the middle one since you're actually going into wood.
Okay. Now we put the front in, the other one. That's this one over here. Okay. Now this is going to get modified. I just brought these little guys here just so that, like, what happens is that we can flip these up. I'm not sure if we need self-stick on these or whatever. It's just, it keeps it, it's going to keep it locked so it can't go anywhere. And it was the simplest way of doing it. And that way you've got something that isn't going to fly up. Okay, so we'll do these guys here. And let's put a clamp on that too.
Okay. I'll let you do the thing.
Well, they worked on it a little longer than you would have thought because they put handles on it and some hardware and... Where am I coming, Johnny?
Garage, but I'll wheel it out to you.
Okay.
Because
Oh, wow. Look at how cool that thing wheels. That's awesome. Handles on 3 sides. We had spare casters.
yeah,
Wow. Looks
And then-
awesome.
that piece of wood, just make sure that it goes in okay. Then these are incomplete locks, and then just when you're done.
Way cool. Very spiffy, JB. Very spiffy.
Yeah, put that on Pinterest. I told Johnny when he starts winning tournaments and stuff, he just puts a little shelf in there and puts his trophies in there.
Way cool. Awesome job, guys.
Oh, cool. Instructions. Oh, this is good. I wish they did this. I wish they let, well, it says you upside down or right side up. Ooh, it's got a little cookie thing on it. Where's our little whoopies?
What whoopies?
These little whoopies down here.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Whoopies. Oh, you did that for me?
Assembled this.
Thank you.
That's the technical
You were
term.
going to get it tight enough. You know, I wasn't, it was going to come apart on me.
These are called
I left it for you. Whoopies, huh? I've never heard that term in...
No, these are called whoopies.
Yeah.
So mark out the... Oh, they're calling them installation blocks. I call them whoopies. Installation block.
So it's going
Well,
up
and
there
this-
above the door.
And so...
It'll hold a plate. It's got a groove for plates, but I'm gonna put my coffee mugs up there and maybe Lego things and...
Because that's where these want to go.
Right, I told them, assume I'm gonna... I plan to put lightweight stuff on it, but assume that it's gonna go, that I'll overweight it. So they got lucky, and there was a header, a piece of wood all the way across.
Header's 3 inches up.
Yeah.
And I've had to tear out the drywall, and then
And put some real wood in to hang something,
yeah, I forgot.
cabinet or whatever.
Let's see if this is close.
So it just sets on there because those things ain't moving.
Yeah. It needs to go my way this way a little bit. Well, that's because before it needs to go my way a little bit. This.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually pulling it down.
It's actually hitting on this side though.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to say.
Well, it took them a little bit of fussing with it to get it just right, but they did get it just right, and it's not going anywhere. Well, we knew this was coming, right? If you're gonna go on a road trip, you're gonna have to get debugged.
Yep.
And she's definitely between the bugs on the interstate and Florida bugs and JB's dirt road with the dust. I did blow her. You ought to have seen the dust come off. But yeah, Donnie's gonna rinse off both cars.
Yeah, I'm gonna blast. I'm not gonna
Detail them, but get them the grunge off.
I gotta get the dust. I can't have Jules looking like that.
Yeah, Jules is sort of pitiful. It's all loaded up. I'm pretty happy with it. I want one for the other side. I figured I would, but I wanted to make sure it was good quality, and I really liked it. It's real wood. JB was not distressed about it. You know, being a cabinet maker, he's got standards. So that's good.
So, guess what? I've been working, gophering, and JB and Johnny have been building, and my girl's been digging in the dirt. My sister sent, what are they?
It's a red buckeye.
Red buckeye.
It's a undergrowth tree, and hummingbirds like the flower. And they have one at the environmental park that we oohed and awed over when it was in bloom this spring. I'm going to try one in the pot, and I've got 2 more. I'm going to try them in the ground.
Yeah, so we're putting this in the pot.
Somebody said pot or ground, but they never gave any indication as to how far down. We're just going to guess 4 to 6 inches is good.
Gail said you just throw them on the ground.
Throw them on the ground, okay.
That's what she said, just throw them on the ground.
Okay, well, I didn't hear that, but I'll...
Oh, I'm sorry.
One in the dirt and one on the ground at over in the side yard.
Right, I guess the thing is it's probably not too deep.
Right, well, that wasn't very deep.
I don't have any idea. You're the plant...
Was like 4 inches.
You're the plant
that
expert.
That was not very far. Well, I'm sure on the ground when they crack open, because this is going to take a while to open up.
That's right.
It's like a morning glory seed on steroids.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're giving it a shot. If it don't work this year, we'll get some more next year.
Yeah. And there's JB. He's staying away from them electric cars. He's going to take the GMC up the Wally World.
Taking the Tesla?
No, not taking the Tesla.
Oh, I think you could.
Yeah, I told him he's welcome to try.
No.
Man, but he said no. I think I'll just take the. I'll take the
I've
GMC.
been on the GMC many times.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
He's,
Well, you had it down in Florida for a month or two.
Yeah, I about didn't get it back.
Yeah,
Susie loved it.
I had more miles on it than Daddy.
Yeah. Well, the T on the floor worked pretty well for Ruby, like it does for Jules. I have to say the self-presenting door. Got to kind of be careful. I'll be careful tomorrow morning opening it up. But we've put Ruby on Jules' side because she needs to charge up. So we've got Jules under the carport, and the van is over there. I'll pull the van out to the street tomorrow because the Amazon trucks and the UPS trucks, all those guys come up. They have a hard time with the car parked up here.